So how you started, how you get involved in martial arts training?
Well, I get involved at the age of 14, basically. I think much earlier because I had to fight in school always in Germany, and but the technical part with age of 14, 76. There's several different styles. Why? I've been in all these fights. My interest was always in how effective is a style to protect myself, how it works in a real self-defense situation. So when I start the martial arts, I start with some traditional style arts like taekwondo, karate, some judo, and most of the time it was very difficult to fight in a real situation because the economy of motions wasn't that effective in a real situation. So I was searching for something, I didn't know what, but I was searching for something which works in a real situation. And one day I read these magazines and all these martial art magazines. I found an article about my Sifu, Keith Ronald Kernspecht, articles about Wing Chun, and I said, well, this guy sounds logical and the movements looks funny a little bit. And I went one of the seminars and he just destroyed all my concepts I had before about fighting styles, because I didn't know much. I know a lot, but not much that I could compare with Wing Chun. So this was the first step I get involved with Wing Chun. This was in 1980.
Have you had any other kind of training, like in boxing or wrestling, or?
Yes, like as I said before, I'd start with 5-year taekwondo. I did a year judo and a little bit involved with jiu-jitsu stuff. 15-year like a hobby wrestling with some very tough guys, very good wrestlers. I did, let me see, around 5 years Muay Thai boxing, 7 years Western boxing. Well, I'm doing since 14 years Eskrima. My grandmaster René Latossa from United States and Bill Newman from England is my master. And Wing Chun side since 15 years under Sifu Kernspecht and my grandmaster Leung Ting. And this I do professional since 1980. Well, see this Eskrima and Wing Chun, we have a relationship. It's like almost a marriage since over 20 years. Even the friendship between my Sifu and my master Bill, it's longer than I've been in the organization. They know each other since end 70s. And René's Eskrima, my grandmaster René Latossa's Eskrima, is from the concept similar to Wing Chun, so it's very straightforward and doesn't waste any time for a movement that don't work in real. And this is what goes very well with Wing Chun, and they're good friends. And my Sifu was always somebody very realistic. He never wasted his time either for techniques which is useless. So that's the reason why they become very good friends, and we work since then together, and I'm very, very happy about this.
So you have spent a long time in the Wing Chun system. How you have seen evolve the art from the beginning when you started to nowadays?
What do you mean exactly by that?
Evolve the art.
The martial
Did
general?
change, yeah, from the day you started, the approach to the other way was taught, the emphasis.
I think the arts change always. I mean, because there was new generation come up. See, in the past with Bruce Lee, everything was a little different. People went to all these kung fu movies and stuff, and people took it very serious. Now people don't take them anymore so serious, because then the full contact kickboxing time came in the 80s. And then now it's some people are, you know, things change. People come, different influence, everything. The martial arts always change. And Wing Chun, I mean, the most other styles keep basically traditional most of the time because of the way they move. And Wing Chun is a style which is created scientifically and always goes with the time. This means with all kind of attacks, because if something changes, Wing Chun goes with it, because Wing Chun is nothing static. It always moves, it's alive. And this is beautiful on Wing Chun, because you never are too old or too young, or you never are style or a style, or you never traditional or not traditional. In Wing Chun you have everything, and it's so beautiful. And Wing Chun has all the three major philosophies in it too, like Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism. It's integrated in the Wing Chun, and most styles always are separate. They are Chan or Zen Buddhism or Taoist, like the Tai Chi or something. So this is what makes Wing Chun complete as a system, with this philosophy and with this movement, with these techniques, to be able to defend you in all ranges, distances, and all situations. And you don't need anything more.
There was a turning point in your career where a lot of people heard about you for the first time, and it was because a fight that you had in common with William Chun. Can you relate us? Can you explain a little bit how it happened and why you decided to take?
It's also about my background. I always was fighting to protect myself, and I don't like if people being treated wrongly, you know, or badly. And so where I come from, I think it's in Spain, you feel probably the same. Your family is very important. And in Turkey it's very important, or Italian, Mediterranean people, they love their families. And the thing is, the Wing Chun is a family style. So I'm in this Wing Chun family, and I'm very loyal to my Sifu because he always treat me nicely and always support me, or my grandmaster Leung Ting the same. And when Bruce Lee passed away, William Chun started this whole campaign, very friendly in the beginning. And I was, of course, like everybody else, a Bruce Lee fan too, and I was following all this conversation in the magazines and interviews and stuff. And then I even had posters of William Chun on my wall at the time when I was age of 14, 15. It was just funny, and I didn't know much about Wing Chun at all. I just heard this Wing Chun, Bruce Lee Wing Chun, but I didn't know what it was. But then, around mid-end 70s, William Chun started to change his attitude in interviews. He started to criticize Bruce Lee. He even put a Bruce Lee student in a Santo in something and blamed him and put him quite down, which I think is not nice, to make friendship and then use them and to make money or take their schools away or whatever, or just to show people that he's better than Bruce Lee students are bad or whatever. Generally I don't like it, but this was the way it started, and he wants to be the head man of the whole Wing Chun organization, which is not possible. After Grandmaster Yip Man died, he announced actually my Grandmaster Leung Ting as the head instructor of the Wing Chun Athletic Association in Hong Kong. And well, they didn't like him because he was the youngest student and the last closed-door student of Grandmaster Yip Man. And all the Sihings and Sizuks didn't like that. They didn't want to learn from somebody younger, like a greenhorn or something. You know, they didn't respect him because of his age. So he said, okay, if you guys don't want, I opened my own organization, and he copyrighted the WT spelling, Wing Chun, and which you spell the same way, Wing Chun. And well, since then it's all history, because he created the biggest, the largest organization in the world through help of my Sifu Kernspek, through me, and a lot of instructors, even Sifu Gutierrez in Spain. We all helped to build up this dream our Grandmaster Leung Ting had after that. And so all these students split in the world. So everybody, Wang Xingleung is somewhere, Victor Khan is somewhere. And of course, William Chun used to be unbeatable on that time. He was younger, and you know, everybody was scared of him, and he started threatening all these old colleagues and brothers of him, Wing Chun brothers. Just not my Grandmaster Leung Ting, because they never met. They never had the same class with the Grandmaster Yip Man. So my Grandmaster Leung Ting didn't know William Chun, so he wasn't scared at all. You know, and so he had this thing with the Black Belt magazine going on. I think he wrote some books and gave them the copyright so that he could control the Wing Chun world, which basically happened. So he challenged everybody, put down, and then he went to England and wrote this big article with I think it was the Combat magazine, with the big letters on top of the challenge. And he put his own Sifu, my late Grandmaster Yip Man, down, that he was a drug addict and stuff. Then he put Bruce Lee down. He said, oh, about Innocento, he was a belly dancer, not a fighter, and all this stuff, you know. I mean, even he's a belly dancer, you don't do this, you respect it, you know. Doesn't matter, because this guy did so much for art too. No matter he's good or bad, this is not the question, it's just something about respect, you know. And Basically, he used him to get into the American business. And the black belt tried to make him as a second Bruce Lee or Yip Man or whatever. And he started to believe his own lies. And he started to challenge all the Wing Chun people. And also he challenged other styles too. And he said he's unbeatable anytime, any place, anywhere. He's ready to prove it. Well, and then he insulted, which his mistakes was in my point of view, he insulted my grandmaster Leung Ting. He said, all the students are blunting, it's not a fight, and all the students have just big bellies, and they only know how to write letters, they don't know how to fight. Well, this was a big mistake, because not only my grandmaster, I also feel my personal being insulted, because I'm a student of Leung Ting, right? So then I went to his seminar, he came to Cologne, and I took this article with me and showed him. I said, well, it's a challenge. I said, I'm here, I didn't know any English, I learned a couple of lines to speak it, so he knows what I wanted. And this basically happened. He had a translator, and I told him he didn't want to translate. I pushed him away, and then I count till 3. He claims I jumped in from behind with 15 people and knives. Well, I mean, you know how I move. I don't need 15 people. I don't need a knife. And the whole thing happens in a couple of seconds, 24, 27 seconds. I put him on the ground, and I take it very easy on him, because I know if I really get angry, well, it would be more terrible. I know he was a famous man, and if I beat him badly, wouldn't be good for me. And because most people, you know, he's a big name, so I'm a nobody in that sense, the world sense, but I was already known in Germany. And this is the story basically. So I basically give him what he was asking for. You know, he asked for some, that's it. But no, William Chung is not from your personal enemy or something. He really was disrespectful. If I wouldn't do it, somebody else would do it, you know. So it was me, it's just destiny, you know, and I couldn't take it, you know. And then this was going on for 7 years, all this bad mouthing about all the other Wing Chun members. And he's been dispelled of the Athletic Wing Chun Association, which means that all the original students of Grandmaster Yip Man basically dispelled him from so he's not even really a member today. So he's not recognized as a Grandmaster in the whole Wing Chun, entire Wing Chun system. So he's like an outlaw, you know. So that's basically, respect is something, no matter if somebody has power or not power, being rich or not rich, respect just isn't human being, because we are human beings and you have to pay respect to that, because he's one of your kind. And if you don't treat this person respectful, so this means you don't treat yourself disrespectful too. And today, you see, we have wars all over the world. I mean, and we do self-defense to protect us, not to go and beat the people. I mean, myself, personally, I treat my students much different. I think they come insecure. They just want to learn to trust you, and I try to give them much as possible self-confidence, mentally and physically, that they're really strong enough to get even away from a fight. Even they're very good fighters, they don't need to show them, because they know they're good. They don't need to prove anybody anything. And it's the same with me, unless somebody really pushes you in the corner. Of course, my personal is different. I'm well known now, and then people try to write on your names and stuff and put gossips about you. But, you know, if you're well known, you can't change this. People make you to a hero, the other people call you something else, whatever, you know. So you can't change this, it's not in your power. And I try to do my best, and I know that everybody comes to my seminar cross hands with me. This means they change their mind immediately. They know that I'm a nice person and I respect. And respect is also somebody what I believe only can give if he knows what is being to be insulted, put down. He knows what is pain, so he doesn't want to give this to somebody else, you know. This is, for me, what has to do with respect.
lately a lot of the tournaments like a free fight, Ultimate Fighting Combat, or World Combat Championship, this kind of tournament has come out of the scene of martial arts. What do you think this kind of events might bring to the martial art? Is positive, is negative? How you look at those events?
You see, I mean, this depends on which point of view looking at it. And I think this is good for the promoters, good for people that want to make money, because this goes all to the media. And for the art, you see, I do self-defense. I don't think I do need to improve myself to anybody in this world, to nobody, how good I am or how bad I am. Because the thing is, in a real fight outside, I'm not going to take any bad things from anybody. So, and if people think, I mean, if you do a sport, if you put the tournament with the rules and stuff, well, this is a different story. This is like competition kind of thing. But if you go down to the bottom line and say, well, we do a no-rule fighting. Well, I'm not going into these fights to play, to choke the guy or to armbar him. I could to break his spine and probably go to kill him. So because this is no rules, this means these other guys try to kill me, I'm going to try to kill him. I'm not going to spar with him. So, and this is basically the bottom line, if you say no rules, first of all. And second of all, I think I'm not of one of these new age gladiators, and I don't teach my students, or our entire organization don't teach the students for these new age gladiators going in a ring or in a cage in a baiting slip and showing people how tough they are and how they can break other people's bones. If this is martial arts, well, I'm not in that same world. My martial arts is something else. I know I'm good. I know I can take all the people that attack me in the street. I don't care, because this is a different story. See, I never said I'm the best in the world, but I don't let's say that I'm the second. So if somebody wants, he has to come down and fight me for real in the street. But I'm not asking for it, because I don't give anybody a reason for it, because I respect them. If he is a karate man or a taekwondo man, I teach my students to learn the history, to learn the techniques. If they come to this school, don't tell them, oh, Wing Chun is good, your techniques are so shit, karate is stupid. We don't use this. If he comes in my school, or judo, or even jiu-jitsu or wrestling, I can tell him about his history, about his heritage, probably more than he maybe knows. So this guy gonna understand, I talk his language, and he's gonna say, hey, this guy's my friend, he knows what I'm doing, so we can talk about his style, so he get close, and then I can show him my style. Try to convince him, this is okay. But if I go and say, hey, your style is so stupid, it's no good, this means I'm prejudiced, and this is not good. And I don't want anybody talks about WT like that. And most people do talk like, because they don't know. Oh, this business with money people, hey, if the Wing Chun system wouldn't be good, we wouldn't have success. You know, some people are big on papers, they make all like this fighting stuff, but they really don't have any schools really big or something. They don't have, you know, they have all these bloodthirsty people as followers and pay-per-view stuff, and we don't want this. I'm not interested in this money even, you know what I'm saying? So I have people that are 110% behind me because they believe in what I'm saying and the way I live, and it's all what counts for me.
Because of these tournaments, the martial art world have turned the focus on the grappling aspect of martial art. How a Wing Chun fighter approach the grappling, or how you personally look at this aspect of fighting?
This is a good question. I think it's a big historical thing right now, the ground fighting, especially in America. You know, the Americans are quite naive in general, not all of them, of course, and they didn't deal with it. See, in Europe, it's from the ancient time, from the history, even the Spain, Greek, my own country, Turkish, you know, like the Persian, they all are wrestlers, you know. The real art, the martial arts, you know, it's been developed in China, but my thing is it comes actually from Egypt and from pancration, you know, like the Greek, Roman fighting. They've been mixed and went to China and to India, get the philosophy from Bodhidharma, came to China, and all these styles developed there, you know. Whatever each style, the really history goes back to China, goes back to there. And so there is ground fighting always in there, but most people, of course, they don't spend attention. But see, here in Europe, people do a lot more judo, jiu-jitsu, wrestling stuff. They're used to the ground fighting, you know. And especially myself, So most people are making a mistake, or they say, oh well, Emin, he goes and he did Thai boxing, he did karate. They think I did this to become good in those styles. I was never interested to become good in this. I did this to study these motions, this combination, all this stuff, the techniques of the other styles, to use my Wing Chun much better. If I understand the other attack, I can understand Wing Chun much better. Because Wing Chun is a system, works in every possibilities in the street, doesn't matter. But you know, if you understand the attack, you're not scared of the attack, you're not afraid. And see, our organization, or my grandmaster Leung Ting, after he separated himself from the association, after late Grandmaster Deep Man passed away, he reformed the whole Wing Chun concept. When he even, everybody says well, he modified. He did modify, but basically he went back to the ancient Wing Chun time. He went to Red China to search for all this information to create the Wing Chun WT system today. And he brought it to my Sifu, and my Sifu made it much more for the, you know, the way he was teaching is much more European. You couldn't teach the same way, which is been taught in Hong Kong, here in Europe in the beginning. You know, when I start, I have to chase up and down the hall just with punches for years. And everybody left because they get bored. You know, you don't want to just form. And my Sifu changed it a lot. We did a lot of partner exercises, you know, and we had a lot of people come and challenge. They come just in rows, kickboxers, boxers, wrestlers. So we just beat them all. They came in our schools because, well, we never insulted them in the article, and I don't remember that my Sifu ever insult anybody. I don't remember that I insult anybody because of their styles or whatever, so long it's not personal. And because we was talking about self-defense, and we show in articles how Wing Chun works, of course, to make it understandable to the average person, he doesn't know anything about the art, so you have to use like a karate punch, you have to use like a box, and people misinterpreted this. They thought we are against the boxer. But we never mentioned in our article, we just show a boxer give a hook, we show Wing Chun how it works. And so people saw that and come and enjoy to our organization, and some people come and challenge us because they thought we have something against. Well, but anyway, they had no chance so or so. So we're the largest professional organization in the world, and that's basically what it is. So we are involved with the ground fighting. My Sifu did wrestling before, but see, I'm doing it since 15 years intensively, and I have great friends in wrestling and everything, but if it comes to the bottom line for free, nobody can put me on the ground or bring me to a choke hold, a submission hold, or armbar, because in Wing Chun we don't care what kind of attack comes in WT. Okay.
Lately, the last year and a half or something like that, there have been a big turmoil and where you were involved to, related to the graces. Can you tell us a little bit about the story of it, how everything came out the first time, and how the things went?
I think that the Gracies try to get somehow connection to Europe. They did in America insult. If I say the Gracies, I have to correct myself. You know, I think it's Hoy and Gracie, which he calls him the head of the clan, and his little brother Hoyce. You know, it's just the ego macho thing what's going on. It's just about money. He insulted all these well-known fighters that have been undefeated in their styles, their sport and everything. They never were really interested in self-defense. Even Benny Urquidez, I know, is a very nice gentleman. Chuck Norris, a very beautiful man. Bob Wall, Gene LaBelle. I mean, he's a tough man. Gene LaBelle is a very great wrestler and grappler and stuff. You know, those people helped Hoy and Gracie in the beginning. So, and then he used them basically. He did basically the same thing what William Chung did with the other people. And after he got powerful, he brought his brothers over. So he had his soldiers, let's say this way, his family he calls always, and his so-called pride behind him, so he could have an easy big mouth. You know, when he was alone there, he was keeping his mouth quite shut. Anyway, so he insulted this, and then they start this stuff with the UFC and all. So they get the media, get the power, they get all this magazine stuff, and he got much far. So he said, okay, well, we have to go to Europe, make money. So far as I've been informed, with their promoter, so I even don't want to mention his name. And well, see, after they get the power with the media, the UFC, so they've been putting all this magazine stuff, so get power, like being known. And yeah, he started to challenge all these people in America first, and now they try to find a way to get to Europe. So of course they have to go some well-known, to find some well-known people with names to insult them and challenge them, and they probably thought they're not going to fight, so just to get the publicity, and they thought probably I'm not going to fight. So the promoter called me one day and asked me did I want to participate at the UFC. So he gave me an offer, you know, and I said, well, thank you very much, but I don't respect those kind of tournaments. I think they are not good for the art. But thank you very much. So that's it. So we hung up the phone. 2-3 days later, this is internet, the computer network, and it's worldwide. All of a sudden, my students call me from everywhere in the United States. They say, well, Sifu, there's some people from the Gracies that saying that you're a chicken, so that I'm a coward, basically. I wouldn't accept the challenge of the Gracies. Well, till today, I never been challenged by them, just only bad mouth. And I said, well, so I called the promoter back and I shot at him. I called him with some bad words that if he has any problems, he can come fight and tell the Gracies. They have a problem with me, come down on the street, we fight. But don't do this, you know, like dirty trick. And that's basically it. And then they start to put this more on the internet to just insult me more or talk bad. And then Hoy and Gracie never said, oh, he didn't write anything. He always denied, but this guy is a student. So each time I talk with Hoy and Gracie or the Art David, the promoter, whatever, now I mention his name, I hate him. And what's happened is just a couple hours later is an internet, so it must be a connection there, right? So if everybody thinks logical, it's so easy to see these people the way they work. And well, as you say, the mass is stupid, you know, they're not so smart, the mass, they just follow anything you want to sell them. So this is what basically happens in America. And just few people, they really see the way this business goes. So anyway, he tries to get these people from Europe to get famous all over. So, well, with me, that's the wrong guy. And this goes like back and forth in the internet, and I just had enough. So I wrote a big challenge. I said, okay, I accept their challenge. If you remember in all these early 90s, Hoy and Gracie put the advertising always that he challenged Mike Tyson, but basically he never challenged himself, anybody, but I think he's a big coward. He doesn't want to fight himself. They they offer $100,000 to everybody who wants to fight the Gracies, if you remember. So now everything has changed. All of a sudden this never exists. They never challenged Mike Tyson stuff. And then the UFC came and, you know, and, well, I don't know, they bring all these people in, they never had titles, big guys, big ugly guys with tattoos, and they give them some world champion titles. One guy is, whatever, 300 pounds something, give him a sumo title. Well, I'm just wondering why they don't invite the real sumo federation or insult them. I think this would be a much more interesting game, right? So the Japanese, whatever. And that's basically it. So you start really insulting, and then I wrote my challenge. I said, okay, I accept your challenge, basically. Well, but I'm going to fight not under your terms. I fight, if I ever fight in the UFC, for all the money if this goes on a charity, and I don't want any rules there. Because they claim always there's no rules, but there are rules. And then all this stuff started, and then the promoter tried to sue me about with the lawyers that I said the fights are no real and stuff like this. I never said they're really no real, but there are rules, you know what I'm saying? And that makes for me it's not real, you know, because what they promise or claim is not really there. And also, you know, it's easy to have big guys that don't know so much how to avoid a punch. It looks always brutal. You know? I hit you, you hit me. If you don't know how to defend, it looks always ugly, and people say, oh, this is the brutal fight. I mean, if you look at the advertising, it's like the most real fights of blood and stuff. I mean, hey, who needs this today? If you look at the news, we have everywhere wars, and Rwanda, 1 million people killed each other. In Sarajevo, you know, this. So we don't need people like Hoy and Gracie and sells blood on the TV. We have enough of this, and I really don't like this, and I have zero respect for somebody like Hoy and Gracie. And, well, at least if he would put his mouth where his word is and come down and fight me really himself, because he's the guy who started everything, and he should come and fight me himself on the street, which he never wanted. So he hiding himself behind this big family. He sells all these videos, and if you listen to the videos, and one he mentioned, well, there was in Brazil one time some other, I think karate school or whatever, that talked bad about the Gracie Jutsu. So some of my brothers went to their school, and after that, they pick up some black belt, beat them, and the whole school looked like after a gas bomb explosion. I mean, hang on, we don't need another, Holocaust or something, whatever. I don't want to go too far, because all these videotapes, if you listen psychologically, is just threatening people. If you buy this tape, you sit there and your average person, you go like, these guys must be very tough or weak, and they're threatening you. You know, but I can see the game. You know, I'm a military. I know what's prize is. Well, I know what fight is. I don't care Hoy and Gracie or Hoyce, because these guys are start the thing. And if Hoy and Gracie is ready, I'm gonna fight him anytime. You just need to put his suit and tie down and come down on the street. But he doesn't want it because he's retired, right? But he's not ashamed to challenge the great Jean LaBelle, which is 65 years, is retired. Or he's not ashamed to challenge Benny O'Keefe, which is retired. But himself is retired. Doesn't want to fight. I mean, there's no logical thing behind it, thought. And then he wants to fight me in his own school in California, or he thinks I'm stupid or something, I don't know. He wants to fight me at the police academy, and he says one time he's a member of the academy, then he claims that, oh, there is no membership. So just to make me look like I'm a liar, and because he has a little bit more power than I have with the media through the TV stuff, with the UFC and all the stuff, well, he could put more in the media than I do and try to make me look like, well, that I'm not going to fight him. It's not true. I'm going to fight Hoyce or Hoy any time they want, but under not their terms and not in their environment. Out on the street, there was no referee, no tape out, no towels, and just real. We'll see how far the jiu-jitsu works, and we'll see, okay? So, and the thing is, I always try to involve the other martial arts against me, is that well, I would say that if I say stupid people in my challenge on that time, I meant people are working for the Gracies. People are, yeah, of course, from my point of view, they are stupid, but I didn't mean the fighters. But I don't think this is smart to go to the UFC to fight anyway. And then he started to put his rest of his family in Brazil against me, but they soon recognized that my hatred against this, because which they put in me to all this bad gossip, it's not against the Gracie family, because I never met these people. It's only against basically, not even Hoyce, it's just a Muppet. It's only against Hoy and Gracie, because I think he has a big mouth and he doesn't want to fight himself. And he's hiding himself behind this whatever so-called big name he made, and I wouldn't be proud of a name like this to insult 60-year-old man, So, and this is what I think about all these tournaments, no rule thing is just, I think it's disgusting. I don't need to prove the real. You can come and fight, you go for it, there's no problem.
Which persons have influenced you more during all your lifetime?
Which persons? In the martial arts world? In any? Well, you know, in some part in my life, mostly, of course, my own father. When I lost him very early, I was 22, he was in '84. He passed away in an accident. He influenced me a lot in his kindness and everything, and I had a lot of trouble, you know, with the Turkish tradition with him, but I loved him very much, and he was a real, for me, a great idol to be like him as a human. And of course, my Sifu Kunspe, he did put some influence in me. Well, I was 18 when I started Wing Chun, right? And I lost my father very early, so there was somebody, kind of a father figure in my life, you know? And well, as a grandmaster, what in Wing Chun is my grandmaster Leung Ting, the way he moves and everything, and emotions, being so soft and flexible, influenced me too. And I always tell you, it's funny to say, but my students and life influenced me a lot, you know, because all the experience I having with my students, bad and good, you know, I'm even saying all the bad things, this makes me who I am today, you know, and to see all these mistakes they do and stuff I did surely before I become a master and everything. You know, you do mistakes. I'm not a perfect man or human. We just try to get closer to be perfect, and I did a lot of mistakes, and I can see today what I did, and because I see how my students become instructor themselves and deal with their students, I could say, hey, I used to do this, and I changed, because I learned from that, and I'm very happy I have all this experience, and now I have very strong believers in me, my students stuff, and I have a lot of fans outside of the Wing Chun world, which makes me much more happy, friends from all kinds of styles, and I'm really proud of this, because they can see my truth inside, what I feel about the art. It's not, I love Wing Chun. I think everybody should think about their style is good. But if, the bottom line is always about what I think is self-defense. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to teach Wing Chun to professional people. Wing Chun is created by two women. Let's say for average person today, they have to be able to defend themselves in all kind of situations in the street. And if you go like just the philosophy of the Gracies, you know, there's like, grab the guy, tackle him down, take all the punches he gives you until he's tired, then you choke him off or put him in an armbar. And the fight after that is still not over, you know what I'm saying? You know, what if you let it go, you know? So, oh yeah, you have to break his bone. If an average person, they're not going to fight against Mike Tyson, they're not going to fight against professional wrestler waiting in the next corner for them. They have to fight against people like themselves in a bar or whatever the fight starts. So, and they are not going to wrestle, they're going to try to punch, kick, and they're gonna try to, of course, sometimes grab, you know, but these people are not professional, and Wing Chun is created for those people to help them to protect themselves in everyday life. Myself or my instructors, we are professional. We have to be able to defend ourselves against professionals. It's a different story, but see, this techniques they showed doesn't work for an average person. You don't want to go in the street on the floor and on the beton and wrestle down. See, imagine you have an expensive suit on. You go in the morning, you have to catch your bus, and there's somebody wants to rob you, attack you. So you don't want to wrestle with this guy on the ground, take all the punches he gives you, whatever, destroy your whole suit, you probably get hurt too on the hard floor. And even you get the guy in a choke or in an armbar, you have to let him go. So the fight is really not over. Anyway, so if you go to the bottom line, you're probably hurt, and you hurt the guy. So the thing is, you have to talk. You didn't hurt the guy really bad because you have to fight maybe hard or whatever. So if maybe you hurt the guy so terrible or whatever, you're in a position you lost your whole day. You lost the money you can make. Your suit is gone. You have to pay your medical bill. So I mean, you lose in the end so much if you fight on the ground. Well, anyway, so you can't choose it. You go on to finish the fight on the ground or not. But the thing is, if you learn this, you go in your mind to go to fight on the ground. So if you do Wing Chun, you know, the enemy has to pass 3 steps before he can even come close to you. There's the kick, the punches, and the elbow knees. So if you have this and train this really hard, he can't come even close. Since age of 18 till today, I have over 300 real fights. You know, and I've been shot and stabbed by knives. I never lost a fight, if you can call loss, because I think every fight between two humans is a loss for the human race anyway. But if you call, I never lost a fight in real, and I knocked my guys. They attacked me just in a few seconds down because they couldn't come even close to me. Because I know how to use my punches, I know how to use my kicks and everything. Even they come close to me. The footwork of Wing Chun is created for weak persons. So in a scientific way, it has all to do with geometry, mathematics, and just the enemy basically hits himself, he attacks you, and then he still can put you down. Even you on the ground, you have a lot we call WT anti-ground or anti-grapple techniques, which is not grappling, or you hold me now, but I hold you now. But you can hold me whatever. Until Christmas, I give you my hands, but I'm gonna knock you out. So, well, you will see some stuff if you in the video later on. But this is what I'm saying. This is what the average person needs to do, not to go on the ground. Finish the fight before he goes on the ground. And remember again, there's not a 20-year-old wrestler there which practiced 20 years want to attack a normal guy or whatever. And this happens in 1 million times once, you know. That's what I think about this.
Bruce Lee was a turning point in the history of martial arts. He was coming from the Wing Chun system, as you do. How you look at the man?
Well, I think he was a very intelligent man, and he did a lot for the arts, but I think he's being big time misunderstood. And most of the time also by his own students. He's not been really, they missed the point, is what I would say. I think he was very smart, and I mean, even his Jeet Kune Do, I think for me still over 80% is Wing Chun, because the whole experience was based on Wing Chun. So he started to create something new, which comes from his experience, right? So he called it Jeet Kune Do, but it's the theory, intercepting fist, all this stuff is Wing Chun. It's all this explanation is pure Wing Chun. So they just called it different. He moved a little bit different. We put like the Eskrima steps in, like Kali or whatever, and for his movies some high kicks, you know. But still, it's Wing Chun, the concept. You know, Wing Chun is not movements. Most people think this is Wing Chun, this is Wing Chun, and this is posing. This has nothing to do with Wing Chun. Is something, you know, like it's motion which is created by the enemy's force. You don't do it. You don't pose in Wing Chun. So it's a concept. I can do with any movements. Karate technique even, I would go so far, I can put the Wing Chun concept behind. There's no problem, you know, because this is what people misunderstood. This is what basically Bruce Lee said. He wants to be the best Wing Chun man, but he couldn't because he had no teacher when he moved to America. There were so many people doing Wing Chun, so he couldn't be the best. So the best thing is you create your own style. That's what I think. So you're the founder, so nobody can be better than you. And I think he was a very intelligent man. I think he understood what was real. But I think that the people didn't understand what his message was, you know. That's what I think. And I admire him. He did a lot, yes.
What are your plans for the future? What are your projects?
You know, my plans are very big, you know. I need a lot of patience. I'm chief instructor for most part of Scandinavia, Norway, Finland, Sweden and Iceland, and I'm for North America, you know. So I'm already in 16 states and some parts of Canada schools. This is a big job. It's not, you know, this is my lifetime basically. And now I do some videos, stuff, films, and I did some little movies in Germany. So I have some stuff coming up, like a TV series in Germany. It's like a big action stuff with some friends. They're well known. I don't want to mention their names, so I don't want to use them. In America, in the big screen. And so I'm trying to hit the movie world to show people more about the arts, more try to put some philosophy behind the movements, basically like Bruce Lee did too. You know, just of course my movement's going to look much more different because I can move like him and nobody can move like me, right? And I don't want to use it like some other action people right now, which I don't want to mention their name either. I think they work very hard in their profession now, but they use the martial arts just in a violent way. They support violence instead to put the philosophy behind the movement, so the youth, the people understand that this is for self-defense. This is not to go out in the street and, you know, start to kick somebody's face.
And finally, what are the things that you don't like to see in the martial arts worlds today?
What I don't like?
Yeah. What would you don't like to see?
What? Oh, I don't like to see people
in the
like
martial arts.
I don't like to see people like Gracie putting other people and styles down. This definitely. I mean, we don't need this, you know. And well, what else? I mean, I think just make friends is more difficult and more pleasurable than make enemies. You know, life is difficult enough. And what should I say? I think I don't like people that are prejudiced to other styles and people. That's what I don't like.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.